Welcome again to Ancient Tales for today. And we've been looking at an interesting story, especially the last one, because a very surprising person begins to believe in God. And that saves her family. But time marches on. Time keeps going. And so now the people are ready to go into the promised land. They're going to go over the river. Today's lesson is number 72, into the promised land. 要进去那个应许之地, the promised land. So stay by as we first listen to the story.
Story 72, Into the Promised Land. At last, the people entered the Promised Land. They crossed the River Jordan in the same miraculous way as they crossed the Red Sea when they left Egypt, on dry ground. The priests stand with the movable temple right there on the riverbed until everybody has crossed over. Why? To show that they are following heaven's direction. This is the land that God promised to them. It has taken them a long time to reach it because of their complaining and all the wrong things they did. They did not have to spend all that time in the desert. The journey did not have to take so long, but the reason was that the people were not ready. In fact, most of those who left Egypt died in the desert because they did not follow the right way and did not obey what they had been told. But now, it is time for a new start. They have a brand new home and a lot of work to do. They build a stone memorial by the river so they can remember the miraculous way they were led. They are like us when we have a new experience, moving house, traveling to a new town to live, getting a new job. These are things to remember. These are all times when we have to begin again in some way. We are faced with new opportunities and new choices. We need to try and make sure that our choices are wise and that we make the most of the new opportunities. You can choose to make a new start even without such events. Right now, you can see this new day as one that has many opportunities and decide that you want to live a better life. You do not have to stay the way you were. You can begin again and live for what is good and right.
Okay, now we've heard the story. At last, 终于, after all the years and of all the wandering in the desert, 在沙漠旷野流浪, finally, the people are entering in to the promised land. They cross the River Jordan. 他们就过这个约旦河 in the same miraculous way that they crossed the Red Sea when they left Egypt. 你记得, wow, 这个是 a long time ago. We talked about them leaving 这个以色列离开埃及的时候. Remember, they crossed the Red Sea, 红海, on dry ground. 这就是走在干地. God created a miracle. In fact, we said here, in a miraculous way, 用一个神奇的方法. Okay, back there, they crossed over on the dry land. And now they are also crossing over the Jordan River on dry ground. The priests, okay, 祭司, okay, these are the people that are in the temple, 就是在他们的能够移动的一个圣殿, they stand with an ark in the middle of the riverbed. Now, what is an ark? You've got to know, ark is the very center of the worship. This is where God's presence, 它的存在就是在这个地方. So the ark is sitting right in the center of the riverbed, right there. And the water goes like this. No water. The ground is dry. 地是很干的. And everybody crossed over. And all the animals and all the people, and they were standing there with the 月桂, keeping the water back. Now, why do you think they did it this way? Because when the ark was in the middle of the riverbed, when they actually touched the water, it went whoosh. And with the ark there, it shows, 表明 very clearly, 会显出来, God is with them. God is protecting them. Going on. This is the land that God has promised to them. 上帝所应许给他们的一块地. Now, it has taken them a long time to reach it because of their complaining and all the things, bad things that they did. 现在是用了许多很长很长的时间. Actually, how long? 40 plus years, more than 40 years, to reach this place. Actually, did you know from the place where they started to enter until they actually entered, I mean, it's only an 11-day journey. 应该是11天变成40年. Why would 11 days become 40 years? Because they were complaining, 抱怨, and they were doing bad things. 他们的行为也是不怎么好. It wasn't very good. They did not have to spend all that time in the desert. 上帝不是要他们40年在旷野，在沙漠呢. The journey did not have to take so long. 这个旅程根本不需要40年. As I said, it should have only been 11 days. But it took 40 years. The reason was the people were not ready. 最大的原因，我敢说了, is the people were not ready to enter the promised land. 人们呢，这些子民呢，上帝的子民 were not ready. 他们已经还没有预备好进入这么好的一个地方啊, the promised land. They were not ready to enter, so that's the reason why it took so long. For you and me, sometimes we go around in circles. 有没有听过这个英文是这样说，兜圈子 going around in circles. Well, it's just like them. They were going around in circles for 40 years. We don't need to do 40 years, but we need to be careful because sometimes maybe God will lead us to go around in circles for a while. 好教训我们, and then we can move forward. In fact, most of those who left Egypt died in the desert. All except two. 大部分的人都死在这个沙漠，在这个旷野沙漠。Because they did not follow the right way. 因为他们不愿意这个随着正路。God had given them the right way. 他就把正路摆在他们的面前。Actually, he told them what they should do and how they should do it, but they still did not or were not willing to follow what God said. And so they weren't ready, and so they ended up going around in circles. 他们不遵守不守上帝所给他们的命令诫命they were just rebellious 有一点点这个叛逆的这种这个心态rebellious attitude. But it is now time for a new start. 现在已经来到一个新起点 a new start, a time to begin again, a time for hope and for happiness. It is now time to begin again. The new start. And we will come back after a little while, but first we need to look at some light on our path. And now for some light on our path. Today, Lena, we are going to look at Isaiah 40, 30, and 31.
好，以赛亚书的40章30节和31节。
This is one of my favorite texts. By the way, I love this. This is my favorite text. Even youths grow tired and weary, and young men stumble and fall. But those who hope in the Lord will renew their strength. They will soar on wings like eagles. They will run and not grow weary. They will walk and not be faint.
好，我们一起来看看艾老师最喜欢的圣经章节啊。以赛亚书的40章30和31节说，就是少年人也要疲乏困倦，强壮的也必全然跌倒，但那等候耶和华的必重新得力，他们必如鹰展翅上腾，他们奔跑却不困倦，行走却不疲乏。
So here is a promise of lots of energy. Now, energy, what is it? 力量。
力量、精力、
Yeah.
力气。
Yeah. So here are the people of Israel. They have come 40 years through the
对。
wilderness.
对
God has been with them. 当然是有一点兜圈子, but
对。
anyway,
对
40 years. But still, God has given them energy.
对。
Now, why is this important? Or maybe you can ask me a better question.
我想哈，这些人他们在旷野流浪了这么久，他们的心里面一直有不安了，也有很害怕，到底是不是上帝你真的带我们到迦南？但是他们回头看一看，从埃及出来的每一天，上帝都那样子照顾他们，所以他们应该相信，上帝会带领他们到底。
That's right. That's exactly right, Lena. If God has led us in the past, 过去带领,
对
then He will also lead us in the future.
对
未来的。
对。
Okay, now they have a lot to do. As we have mentioned in the first half, it's time for a new start. They're going to enter into this new land. all of this land God is giving them. They have a new home, a new place to live, new cities to build, and there is a lot to do. 有许多事情要做。They build a stone memorial by the river so they can remember the miraculous way that they were led. 在这个河流旁边 This is 约旦河, of course. This is the Jordan River. They build, 他们就盖一个石碑 Okay, 石碑 stone is stone, 的石头的纪念碑石碑 by the river. Why would they build a stone memorial by the river? So they can remember the miraculous way that they were led. 上帝用神奇的方法带领他们。There were miracles all along. 有神迹，有奇迹 one after another, after another, after another. And they were supposed to remember these. Going on. In fact, most of those, let's go on to the next one. They are like us when we have a new experience. Almost every day we have new experiences. 有新的经验. Now, of course, the older you get, maybe the more experiences you have less new experiences. But I think I have new experiences every day. When you have a new experience, especially like moving a house, 搬家, or traveling to a new town, 要搬到一个新的城市住, moving to a new town to live, or maybe like 可能好像 getting a new job, 或者新的工作，有新的工作. These are things to remember. These are things to remember. These are all times when we have to begin again. Of course, new job, new home, new city to live in, so many things. I talked to a friend of mine yesterday, and she said, I spent yesterday getting a new bank account, so she had to go to the bank. See, these are new experiences, new place, new house, new things to do, lots of work to do. These are all times when we begin again, 重新开始, in some way. We are faced with new opportunities and new choices. 我们就会面对新的机会, new opportunities, 新的选择. These are things that we must, that we will all face. 我们都会面对这些了. We need to try to make sure that our choices are right. I think that that's one of the important things that we learn in this whole story is that we need to make wise choices. 要做一些聪明的决定. See, make wise choices. Now, unfortunately, the problem is most of us don't always make wise choices. But I think the principle is make wise choices. Okay? And it says here, make the most of our new opportunities. 要趁着 to make the most of. 趁着 新的机会 or just 趁着机会 So we need to be wise. We need to look at these new opportunities as stepping stones, like 脚踏石头. You step on the stone and you're improving, making your life better. Going on. Okay, so you can choose to make a new start without such events. Of course, you can always make a new start. Right now, you can see this new day as one that has many opportunities. Today, you have an opportunity. Today is an opportunity, and we can make the most of it. 要趁着机会. We will decide, I think, we should follow God's path. 要跟从上帝的道路. This is an opportunity for each one of us. You do not have to stay where you are. 你根本不需要留在你现在的地方. You say, well, my life is not so interesting. Well, or my life is poor, or I'm having a bad time. You can begin again. You can change your future if you decide. God will help you. The God of heaven will help each one of us to do what is right. And one of the most important things that I learned in this story is we have nothing to fear for the future. 我们不要怕这个将来. The only thing is if we forget how God has led us in the past. So that's the reason why they put up this 石碑. It was a memorial. It helped them to remember that God had led them and that the future was a future of hope. Things could be hopeful. Things could be bright, could be good, because they remembered what had happened in the past. They had crossed over the Jordan River on dry ground. So with that, we come to the end almost of our lesson. Now, here are some words you need to know. And now for some words you need to know. The first one is the miraculous way.
神奇
Okay.
神奇的方法是不是这里
Yeah,
说
you could say 神奇的方法. A miracle is how do you say miracle?
miracle 也是非常神奇的很奇妙的
Right. And so a miraculous way would be a way which is a miracle. It's 不是自然的，
对
也不是人造的. Okay? So that's a good one there. Another one is a simple one. It says desert.
desert
What is a desert?
沙漠
沙漠. Some places they say 旷野, but it's supposed to be desert. And have you ever been to a desert?
没有去过沙漠
And neither have I. And I don't want to either.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because it's so dry. It's funny. It's dry and it's hot and it's also cold in the morning.
Morning and midnight.
Yeah. Very cold. Okay, the next one is memorial.
Memorial.
Okay, memorial is what?
纪念碑
Okay, so they put up a 纪念碑, a memorial, and this was to remember the past. Okay, I think we have time for a real short one. Wise?
聪明
Oh, that was too simple. So maybe we do another one. It says, you can begin again and live for what is good and right. What's that?
正确
正确. So we should do the right thing. 要做好的.
对
Sometimes the simple way is 做好的,做对的.
对的，我也希望我每一个中文解释都是正确的。
Good, good. Okay, thank you for joining us for Words You Need to Know. Now we've come to the end of this lesson. It's been interesting as we've seen over the last few weeks how Israel has taken step by step, sometimes 兜圈子 going around in circles, but now they have entered into the promised land. And the next lesson is a continuation. In this time, we're going to look at friend or enemy. So, Joshua meets somebody, and he doesn't know if that person is a friend, 朋友, or an enemy. Bring a friend along and join me for the next lesson from Ancient Tales for today.
That's all for today, and thanks for watching. If you like Ancient Tales for Today, please visit atft.chinesehope.tv. You may also contact us by writing to ancienttalesfortoday@gmail.com. Again, that's ancienttalesfortoday@gmail.com. Tell your friends about Ancient Tales for Today. See you next time.